1. Preamble. The scheme may be called the Dhyan Scheme for the Dhyan Chand Award for Lifetime Achievement in Sports and Games, amended as on 302.2016. 1. Preamble. The scheme may be called the Dhyan Chand Award for Lifetime Achievement in Sports and Games. 2. Objective. I. To honor those sportspersons who have contributed to sports by their performance and continue to contribute to promotion of sports even after their retirement from active sporting career. E. To motivate persons who have contributed their lifetime to sports and sports. Promotion. E. To encourage broad basing of and development of excellence in sports in the country. 3. Definitions. In this scheme, unless the context otherwise requires. A. Scheme means the scheme for Dhyan Chand Award for Lifetime Achievement in Sports and Games. B. Committee means the selection committee constituted under the scheme. C. Award means the Dhyan Chand Award for Lifetime Achievement in Sports and Games. D. Chairperson means chairperson of the selection committee under the scheme. A. Government means the Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports. F. Sports Administrator means a person who is engaged in management administration of national international sports events, sports organizations including private sports academies, sports programs and delivery of sports services. G. Sports journalist expert commentator means a person who is associated with sports journalism including freelancing both print or electronic media, or a person who writes extensively on sports issues or has written books on sports, or a person who gives live commentary during sports events. H. Rajiv Gandhi Khel Ratna Awardee means a person who has been conferred with Rajiv Gandhi Khel Ratna by the Government of India. I. Arjuna Awardee means a person who has been awarded an Arjuna Award by the Government of India. J. Dhyan Chand Awardee means a person who has been awarded Dhyan Chand Award by the Government of India. K. Olympian means a sportsperson who participated in the Olympic Games as a member of the Indian contingent approved by the Government of India. 4. Eligibility. 4.1 To be eligible for the award, a sportsperson should have had not only good performance at international level but also should have continued to contribute to promotion of sports in his individual capacity even after his career as a sportsperson is over. A sportsperson should also have shown qualities of leadership, sportsmanship and sense of discipline. 4.2 Sportspersons who have been penalized or against whom inquiry is pending or going on for use of drugs, substances banned by the World Anti-Doping Agency (WADA) based on a sample collected by the National Anti-Doping Agency (NADA) or any other agency authorized by WADA and tested by the National Dope Testing Laboratory or any other WADA accredited laboratory will not be eligible for the award. 4.3 Sportspersons who have already been conferred either with Rajiv Gandhi Khel Ratna, Arjuna Award or Dronacharya Award will not be eligible to apply for Dhyan Chand Award. 5. Nominations. 5.1 The nominations for the award will be invited by the Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports from all recognized national sports federations, NSFs recognized by the Government of India, Indian Olympic Association and state UT governments in the month of January-February each year. Last date for the receipt of nominations will be the 30th of April or last working day of April. The national sports federations recognized by the Government of India, the Indian Olympic Association and the state UT governments may nominate up to a maximum of 2 sportspersons in a particular discipline sport in a particular year. In case of cricket, for which no national sports federation has been recognized by the Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports, nominations from Board for Control of Cricket in India (BCCI) will be invited. In addition, nominations will also be invited by the Ministry from Sports Control Promotion Boards of various governments organizations such as the All India Police Sports Control Board, Army Sports Control Board, Railway Sports Promotion Board, Services Sports Control Board, Indian Navy Sports Control Board, Air Force Sports Control Board, Petroleum Sports Promotion Board, Air India Sports Promotion Board, Sales Sports Promotion Board etc. These agencies will be allowed to make nominations up to a maximum of 2 sportspersons. For the NSFs that are recognized are under suspension, Sports Authority of India (SAI) will exercise the quota of nominations and make nominations up to a maximum of 2 eligible sportspersons for each sports discipline with the approval of Director General (SAI). In case of receipt of more than 2 nominations from the concerned agency, only the first 2 nominations sent by the recommending agency will be considered. 5.2 Rajiv Gandhi Khel Ratna awardees of the previous years can also nominate 1 eligible sportsperson each for Dhyan Chand Award for the sports discipline for which they themselves were awarded Rajiv Gandhi Khel Ratna, Arjuna, Dhyan Chand and Dronacharya awardees of previous years can also nominate 1 eligible sportsperson each for Dhyan Chand Award in their respective disciplines. Further, Director General, Sports Authority of India can also nominate up to 2 eligible sportspersons for this award, in addition to the quota to be exercised by it in respect of the recognized suspended NSFs. 5.3 Notwithstanding the above, Government reserves the right to make up to 2 nominations of sportspersons coaches in deserving cases where no such nominations have been received from the agencies mentioned under the scheme. 5.4 The authorized signatory for sending nominations will be as follows: I. Indian Olympic Association President, Secretary General. National Sports Federations President, Secretary General. In the case of cricket, there is no federation recognized by the Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports. Nominations for cricket will need to be sent by President, Secretary General of the Board for Control of Cricket in India (BCCI). State UT governments, sports control promotion boards, an officer of not less than the rank of secretary of the organization after taking due approval of the competent authority. 5.5 Nominations forwarded by any officer dearer other than those mentioned in para 5.4 above will not be considered. 5.6 Nomination agencies are expected to send nominations of most deserving sportspersons irrespective of whether sportspersons have applied to them for awards. 5.7 The award will be made in respect of the calendar year during which the applications are invited. 5.8 The nominations will be sent to the Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports in the prescribed pro forma, giving the details past performance of the nominated sportspersons in international competitions and details of the contribution made for promotion and development of sports. 5.9 The nominating authorities are required to certify in the nomination form itself that the nominees are clear from vigilance disciplinary angles and are not involved in acts of criminal and moral turpitude nature. In case of sportspersons employed with central government, state governments, PSUs, or in private organizations, nominating authorities should obtain a requisite report from the concerned employers before certifying that the sportsperson being nominated is clear from vigilance disciplinary angle and is not involved in any act of criminal or moral turpitude nature. While seeking report from the employer, details of charge sheet disciplinary action taken pending, if any, should also be obtained. Copy of the report certificate obtained from the employer of the sportspersons should be enclosed with the application of the sportspersons being nominated. 5.10 Copies of the nominations received from organizations other than the National Sports Federations (NSFs) will be sent to the concerned NSF for verification of the details and the achievements and for checking if the nominated sportsperson has ever been warned, penalized for any unfair practice like age fraud, sexual harassment, doping, etc. All details in this regard, if any, along with the verification report should be sent by the concerned NSF within a week of the receipt of letter from the ministry. 5.11 The applications for nomination should be addressed to Director, Sports, Deputy Secretary, Sports, Under Secretary, Sports, Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports only, and date of receipt in his/her office will be the date of receipt of nomination by the government. 5.12 Received applications are to be duly stamped and recorded in a register. In addition, all applications received within time will be duly acknowledged to the recommending authority. 6. Scrutiny of nomination. 6.1 All nominations received from the organization mentioned in para 5.1 and 5.2 will be sent to the Executive Director Teams, Sports Authority of India and concerned national sports federations, who will verify and confirm from official records the achievements, performance of all nominated sportspersons within a maximum period of 1 month of receipt of the nominations from the ministry. 6.2 The Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports will seek a report from NADA about each of the sportspersons who has been shortlisted for verifying if any one of them has ever been found positive for doping. 7. Screening Committee to SCRUTINIZE all the nominations received. A screening committee consisting of Joint Secretary, Sports Department of Sports, Secretary, Sports Authority of India, Side Director, Sports Deputy Secretary, Sports Department of Sports and Executive Director Teams, Side will meet for the scrutiny of the nominations. Applications of the nominated sportspersons, reports of NSF side, will be placed before the screening committee. Valid nominations which are clear from vigilance, disciplinary and doping angles will be placed before the selection committee as per the eligibility criteria prescribed. 8. Procedure for selection. 8.1 The award will be decided by a selection committee constituted by the Government of India as under. 1. Chairperson to be nominated by the Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports. 2. Sportspersons of eminence, Olympians, previous Rajiv Gandhi Khel Ratna awardees, Arjuna awardees, Dhyan Chand awardees. 3 members. 3. Sports journalists, experts, commentators, 2 members. 4. Sports administrators, 1 member. 5. Director General, Sports Authority of India member ex officio. 6. Joint Secretary, Sports Department of Sports, Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports. Member Secretary ex officio. 8.2 There should be minimum 2 years of gap before a member other than ex officio is renominated as member in the selection committee. 8.3 Not more than one sportsperson of eminence from a particular sports discipline shall be a member of the selection committee to avoid any bias in favor of a particular discipline. 8.4 A statement of achievements of all those sportspersons who fulfill eligibility criteria and whose nominations have been received before last date will be sent to the members of the selection committee at least a week in advance before the meeting of the selection committee. 8.5 The chairperson, in consultation with member secretary, may constitute panels from amongst the members of the committee to assist the committee. 8.6 The chairperson may seek advice of experts in specific sports disciplines wherever necessary. 8.7 Shortlisted nominations from team games may be sent to experts at least a week in advance for their views. The experts may also be asked to attend selection committee meetings to clarify the doubts of members. The evaluation criteria may include international recognition, goals scored, player of the match, player of the tournament award, etc. 8.8 Any person directly or indirectly related to a sportsperson nominated for the award shall not be eligible to participate in deliberations of the selection committee concerning that sportsperson. 8.9 The committee will determine its own work procedure and will keep in view the guidelines, criteria, if any, framed by the Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports. Members of the selection committee will give their recommendations as per the provisions of the scheme and the marks criteria of the scheme. 8.10 The quorum for the meeting of the committee shall be 75% of the members of the committee and the chairperson. 8.11 The committee shall select the award winners by consensus, failing which by a majority decision, and give its report to the Government of India within 15 days of reference. 8.12 The Executive Director Teams Sports Authority of India will be present at the time of deliberations of the committee in order to provide information clarifications, if any, required by the committee. 8.13 All the selection proceedings will be treated as confidential. The chairperson may take necessary steps in consultation with the member secretary to maintain strict confidentiality of the deliberations and selection made by the committee. 9. Number of Dhyan Chand Awards for achievement to be given in a year. Not more than 3 awards will be given in a particular year, subject to deserving sportspersons being available. 10. General. 10.1 The award will consist of a statuette, a certificate, ceremonial dress, and a cash award of 5 lakh rupees, which will be presented to the winners at the function for the presentation of the award to be held at a place and on a date to be determined by the Government of India. 10.2 No award will be made for a second time to the same person. 10.3 The award may be given posthumously if such an occasion arises. 10.4 In order to ensure due diligence in the selection of awardees, the ministry will make necessary character verification prior to finalizing the names of the awardees. This may be done through the regional centers of SAI, if need be, by taking help of concerned police authorities. 10.5 At the time of the presentation ceremony, the awards will be conferred upon the selected awardees who are present. No person other than the awardees will collect the award and prize money at the presentation ceremony. The awardees who are not able to come to receive the award during the presentation ceremony may later receive the same from the Minister in charge for Youth Affairs and Sports. 10.6 The Government of India may cancel, annul the award to any recipient for specific reasons including doping, and thereupon the recipient shall be required to surrender the plaque and the certificate of honor, but it shall be competent for the Government of India to restore the award once the cancellation and annulment has been withdrawn. 10.7 The decision of the Government of India in respect of matters covered by the scheme and of the interpretation of the provisions of the scheme shall be final, and no appeal shall lie against them. 10.8 A person who is nominated for the award shall be deemed to have accepted the provisions of the scheme. 10.9 Canvassing in any form in respect of an entry will render that entry liable to disqualification. 10.10 Minister in charge for Youth Affairs and Sports will be competent authority for relaxation of any clause, provided there are sufficient reasons to be recorded in writing for doing so. Form of application for Dhyan Chand Award. Affix a recent passport. Size photograph 1. Name of the applicant, sportsperson, in capital letters. 2. Father's name. 3. Address along with phone, no mobile, no email. 4. Date of birth. 5. Brief biodata. Enclose a separate sheet. 6. Sports achievements during active sports career. S. No. Name of the event. Venue, dates and year, achievement. At international level. 7. Other achievements. 8. Year of retirement from active sports. 9. Details of contribution made for promotion and development of sports. S. No. Period details. 10. Other awards received from the state government, central government, other agencies, if any. Undertaking by the sportsperson nominated for the award. That I have carefully read the provisions of the scheme for the Dhyan Chand Awards for the outstanding performance in sports and games, and hereby accept all its provisions. I have never been penalized for any unfair practice like age fraud, etc. None of my trainees has been penalized, and no inquiry is pending ongoing against any of my trainees for use of drugs, substances banned by the World Anti-Doping Agency (WADA) based on a sample collected by the National Anti-Doping Agency (NADA) or any other agency authorized by WADA and tested by National Dope Testing Laboratory or any other WADA accredited laboratory. This is applicable for the period the disciples were under my training. I have never encouraged the use of drugs, substances banned by the World Anti-Doping Agency (WADA) by any sportspersons. Signature of the sportsperson's name and discipline. Note: in case any inquiry has been initiated, a warning given. Details should be given by sportsperson. Recommendation from the nominating agency, i.e., State Government, National Sports Federation, India Olympic Association, etc. 1. I recommend that Shri per kilometer SMT. Blank, son, daughter, wife of Shri, blank, underscore, blank, for Dhyan Chand awarded for the year, blank. 2. I have carefully read the provisions of the schemes for Dhyan Chand Award and confirmed that the sportsperson is eligible for being considered for the award. 3. It is certified that the particulars mentioned above are correct. 4. It is certified that nominee is clear from vigilance disciplinary angles and is not involved in acts of criminal and moral turpitude nature. In case of sportspersons employed with central government, state governments, PSUs, or in private organizations, a requisite report has been obtained from the concerned employer before certifying that the sportsperson being nominated is clear from vigilance disciplinary angle and is not involved in any act of criminal or moral turpitude nature. Copy of the report obtained from the employer is enclosed. Signature of recommending authority giving name and designation of the signing authority, official seal. Note 1. Report the employer will include details of charge sheet, disciplinary action taken pending, if any. 2. Sportspersons who have been penalized or against whom inquiry is pending or going on for use of drugs, substances banned by the World Anti-Doping Agency (WADA) based on a sample collected by the National Anti-Doping Agency (NADA) or any other agency authorized by WADA and tested by the National Dope Testing Laboratory or any other WADA accredited laboratory will not be eligible for the award. Date blank. Place blank. Criteria for giving Dhyan Chand for lifetime achievement in sports and games. 1. 70% weightage will be given for the medals won in various international championships and sports events of the disciplines covered in Olympic Games, Summer, Winter and Paralympics, Asian Games and Commonwealth Games. Points for winning medals will be given to each eligible sportsperson for his/her performance during his entire sporting career as per marks given in the table below. S. No. Event medal. Gold, silver, bronze 1. Olympic Games, Paralympics 8070552 World Championship, World Cup once. In 4 years, asterisk. 403020. 3 Asian Games 302520 Commonwealth Games 25215 asterisk for World Championship, World Cup of different periodicities, proportionate marks will be given. 2. Equivalence of any other sports discipline tournament not listed above will be decided by the selection committee with reference to above mentioned categories of sports tournaments and the points will be allotted accordingly. 3. For team events, marks will be computed taking into consideration strength of the team. If prescribed marks for an individual event are A, in the case of team event, the marks will be computed as follows. A team of 2 persons, 1.5x 8 number of persons in the team E, a team of 3 or 4 persons, 2x 8 number of persons in the team E, a team of 5 to 10 persons, 3x 8 number of persons in the team I B, a team of more than 10 persons, 5x 8 number of persons in the team. 4. 70 marks will be given to the sportsperson getting maximum points as computed in the table above. The rest of the sportspersons will be given marks proportionately to the said sportsperson. For example, if a sportsperson A has got highest points, say 45 points as per the table above, and another sportsperson B has got 40 points as per the table above, then A will get 70 marks and B will get 70 by 40 45 equals 62.22 marks. 5. 30% weightage will be given to the marks given by the selection committee for assessment of the eligible sportsperson for contribution made for promotion of sports after retirement from active sports career, e.g. as a coach, sports manager, etc. And for qualities of sportsmanship, leadership and sense of discipline. 6. For cricket and indigenous games, not included in Olympic, Asian Games, Commonwealth Games disciplines, the selection committee will take into consideration their individual performances and contribution to sports after active sports career. 7. Not more than 1 award will be given in each discipline in a particular year. This condition would be relaxed only in exceptional circumstances to be recorded in writing. 8. Not more than 3 awards could be given in any calendar year. This condition will be released only in exceptional circumstances to be recorded in writing. 9. In a particular sports discipline, names of not more than 2 sportspersons, 1 male and 1 female with the highest marks as per the criteria brought out in the table above will be considered by the selection committee. 10. Sometimes, the selection committee may feel that as per the given criteria, a very deserving sportsperson in a team game may not get Dhyan Chand award. In such a situation, it may recommend such name giving full justification in writing. 11. Selection committee will recommend the final list of sportspersons for Dhyan Chand award as per the marks obtained in terms of the criteria indicated above. 12. Selection committee may not mechanically recommend Dhyan Chand award to the recipient of the highest marks across disciplines. But in a particular sports discipline, award will be recommended only for the recipient of the highest aggregate marks. 13. The recommendations of selection committee will be placed before the Union Minister of Youth Affairs and Sports for the final decision.
Thank you.